Troels Thogersen, editor-in-chief at Campo, and currently sat outside Michelin's training ground after a long day of interviewing. How are you?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's always good to go out and visit football clubs and talk to directors, talk to players. Yeah, it's been an interesting day, and yeah, now we continue talking football. That's perfect.
Why not? Why not? I know it's not the main topic of conversation, but I just have to ask if you calmed down after Scotland, Denmark.
I don't think anyone's pulses have settled yet in Denmark. There's great frustration, let's put it that way. Aside from brilliant Scottish goals and good Scottish play, people here in Denmark are very upset with the defending of Denmark, and rightly so, I think. If I ever cleared a ball like they did on several occasions, I'd owe the rest of the team big time in the old boys Sunday league. So yeah, imagine how bad it is in the national team. Yeah, tough times.
And just to linger, just to heighten the agony a bit more, obviously Patrick Dorgu scored. We know that. How did he
Yeah.
play? How culpable was he in that defending that you talk about?
It's two part. There was also before Scotland there was a travesty against Belarus, where Denmark somehow managed to draw 2-2. And Patrick, like we've seen before, he had his struggles when he had to actually mark an opposing player. He forgot that at times. It was quite costly. He also came forward. He helped create stuff. So I don't put this on him. It's the senior players that and the national coach that really let the team down. I can't overstate how big of a disappointment this is in Denmark. Denmark were favourites to go straight to the World Cup. Now, well, they'll have to go to Ireland probably if they make it past North Macedonia in the playoffs. So yeah, interesting times in Denmark. Interesting times in March.
Yes, still quite raw. I can tell. I'm sorry. I'll move on to the main point, which
Oh, it's
is
good. Scott McTominay's goal was brilliant, by the way.
I mean, I could talk about that all day, but we won't. We won't. It's fine. Um, Chido Obi,
Yeah,
with Benjamin Sesko's injury, I wanted to talk about how Chido might fit in at United. It's likely, I would say, that we'll see either Mateus Cunha or Joshua Zirkzee starting at the nine. But you'd
yeah.
hope that Chido will be in the squad at least. He's not even been in the first team squad this season.
No, I think we were talking about him the other day. Actually, I think we were not thinking of him as starting. That would be, I think, way too much to ask of him. But coming off the bench, it probably could make sense. With Sesko out, depending on how bad it is, how long it'll take him to get fit. But yeah, he could see some football, and yeah, now he has to step up.
How's he viewed in Denmark? Because his career, from what I've seen of it, he just everything seemed to be on fast forward, didn't it? He was obviously tearing it up in Arsenal's youth
Yeah,
team. Took
yeah,
13 seconds to score for United's under
yeah.
18s on his debut, 14 minutes to get a hat trick, up to the first team by the end of his first season. But then, and then he also scored on the post-season tour. But then this year, nothing at all. What's the view in Denmark of where he's at?
I think there's definitely high expectations for him still. Um, I was just agonizing about Denmark's senior national team. But if we don't look at the current poor state of things, there are quite a few good forwards to choose from. In which means it's really hard to break into that part of Denmark's team. But if we weren't all that settled, people are thinking, maybe he would have even had a chance for Denmark's senior team. He was playing with the under 21s, which is in Denmark. It's rather unusual that, of course, if you're really good, of course, you get to play at the under 21s early, but it doesn't happen all the time. Far from it. So I think that's a sign that the coaches take him really seriously. That he's someone who's viewed in a very serious light. And that's also one of the main stories about him here in Denmark was the Danish FA fighting to, or at least that's they probably won't say it on a record, but they were fighting to keep him for him to not join another national team. Wonder who I'm talking about. But he probably could have went on to play for someone else, but it seems Denmark secured him, and I think that's one of the main topics still making its rounds about him, and something that means that he's closely followed. He's someone viewed as a potential future national team player. But now it's a big step, that transition from being just better, bullying opponents in youth football. We've seen that story before. When you step up and you play in the senior team, you have to rely on something else. Things aren't all that easy, and I think the perception here, and from what I gather also from coaches, this is where he's viewed right now. How is he handling this transition? And maybe it'll take a bit longer than you'd wish for in the perfect scenario. But I don't think anyone's worried yet.
Is there any noise coming out of his camp? Because obviously, if you're frustrated that you're not playing, there are ways of making that known, aren't there? But the alternative, you would hope, is just head down, keep working.
I, I think with him moving, all not all that long ago, this isn't the time. This isn't the time to making demands or calls or placing stories, if you like, in different places. That's not where we're at. He obviously chose Manchester United deliberately. I think it would be way too early to be asking for this and that or going out on loan. Nah, he's keeping his head down. He's working, and yeah, now he has to take his chance and show that he can convert. I think the many good traits he showed in youth football, good finisher, good in the area, actually kind of decent playing, considering his age. He was decent playing with his teammates and participating in play, I think. So, there are good signs, and now he has to translate it, which is a big ask, translate it into playing senior football and now Premier League football, which is obviously one of the hardest things you can do in the world.
So you wouldn't, just find that in. So you wouldn't envisage a loan deal necessarily in January.
I wouldn't rule it out, but I think it's and I know some players are maybe a bit more restless than they used to. Moves are happening faster. In my opinion, I think that's too early for him. Also, with him moving already in not all that long ago, stay in one place, be good in training, take your chances, and maybe further down the line, if there's not enough playing time, go out on loan. But I reckon that would be very early.
Superb. Troels, thank you so much. I'll let you get home after such a long day. Top man, thank you very much for joining.
Well, it's always a pleasure.